Hey y'all, so I'm going to do another cooking video for you guys. I'm actually posting up 3 this week, so if you've missed one, I just posted up my shrimp molini, which is a shrimp pasta and garlic dish. Now I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my meatloaf. I make a couple of versions of meatloaf, but I thought that y'all would like to see a different version of meatloaf, because most people when they hear meatloaf, they think of just the hamburger meat and, you know, tomato or ketchup sauce on top. But I'm going to show you guys how I beef up my meatloaf. And then the next video that will be coming later this week is a version of chicken spaghetti, which my mama taught me. So if you guys want to see how to make this meatloaf, thank you. For this recipe, you're going to need 1.5 pounds of hamburger meat, some Worcestershire sauce, garlic powder, pepper, salt, a meatloaf pan, mine is of Pyrex. You're going to need half an onion. You're going to need 3 half mixed bell peppers, 4 baby bellas mushrooms, and then you're going to need 5 of the Kraft jalapeno string cheese sticks. Okay, so if you've watched my other videos, I tell you that when I have my nails painted, and because I do keep my nails a little bit longer, I like to wear latex gloves when squishing meat. I'm not a very big germaphobe, but I just feel better knowing that it's not underneath my nails, even though I've cleaned them and all that. So anyways, you're going to go ahead and take your hamburger meat, dump it in a bowl, go ahead and kind of squish it around a little bit. I have already taken the lids off of the seasonings and the Worcestershire sauce, just so we don't have to worry about messing with the lids. So we are going to add a teaspoon. If you really love the taste of it and you want a more smoky flavor, go ahead and add a tablespoon, but I like a teaspoon. I like a hint of it, but not so overpowering. We're going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now we're going to add, just because I really want the flavor to come out, we're going to add close to a tablespoon of salt, but if you really, let's just go with a teaspoon. I know I always change these recipes when I get to making them, but my eyes play tricks on me. Okay, and then same with the peppers, go with a teaspoon. If you really want those seasonings to, you know, come out, you can put more in. It's not really a big deal. Now, this is a very easy recipe. I call it peppered meatloaf. Like I said, it's really easy, especially when it comes to like the seasonings and stuff. You can jam pack this meatloaf with anything and everything that you want to put in there. I just like to keep the meat mixture pretty basic, because I'm going to be putting all of this, the peppers and the onion and the mushrooms and all that, on top. Now I'm sure you're like, well, what is the cheese sticks for? Well, I'm going to show you what those are for. So I'm just going to keep mixing this around a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to take off my glove and I'm going to go ahead and slice the bell peppers and the onions and the mushrooms. So I'll show you that part. Okay, so now for the bell peppers and all of that, I'm just going to scoop these off. Don't worry, my counter is clean. I'm just going to scoot all these off. I'm going to cut my onion into slices. I normally chop them, but I'm going to cut them into slices this go around. That's all you need to do with your onion right now. Okay, now to the mushrooms. I've already wiped these off. I do not like to use the stem, so I just cut the stem off. You can also pull it out. And so I'm just going to slice these very thinly. oven on to 375. Now that we have got all of our toppings cut up, I'm going to show you guys what we do. Okay, now on to our topping. I have put 2.5 tablespoons of butter in the skillet. If I did not mention it before, we are going to saute our onion, bell pepper, and mushrooms. So we're going to go ahead and get our butter melting. I have the heat on medium-high heat. Go ahead and get our butter melted. Okay, now our butter is coming to a boil. We're going to go ahead and dump our onions and bell peppers in there. Scrape them right off the board. Make sure everything gets nicely coated with the butter. If you need to add more butter, feel free. You really can't go wrong with the butter in this department. Now, most of my peppers did fall apart. I think this is like the only one that came out with a shape, but that's perfectly fine. Like I said, you can slice them. They don't have to keep the shape. It works a lot better when you have a full pepper, then you can cut it and kind of keep the shape. They kind of look like little shamrocks, and then you can line the top of your meatloaf. But you don't have to do that. That's just my artistic side coming out in me. I'm just trying to make sure everything is apart so the butter can get to everything and caramelize. If you have other things that you are preparing, you can always turn this on medium to medium low, and you just keep an eye on them and come back and check them. So I'm going to go ahead and let this caramelize and get all nice and soft, and then I'll come back to show you guys what we do with the meatloaf. Okay, so I have a Pyrex pan. I should have looked at this beforehand. This is a 5x9. Okay, so I have my Pyrex pan. I've already sprayed it with some nonstick spray. Key, definitely do that. So I'm going to take our meat mixture. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the pan and flatten it out and get it to form to our pan. With the cheese sticks, just to make it easier and of course more sanitary, I already opened the cheese. I'm sure you're wondering, where do those fit in the meatloaf? Well, take your fingers and make a little, what I call ditch or trench, and then go ahead and take your meatloaf, your cheese stick, stick it in there, and then put some of the meat back on top of it. Go a little bit more, do the same thing. Stick it in there, make sure it's nice and covered. If you don't get it fully covered, not a big deal. Go up in front of that one again, make another one, and just keep repeating the process until all of your cheese sticks are in there and covered. It's very difficult to try to open cheese sticks when your hands are all greasy and messy from the meatloaf. Okay, now this last stick we are going to break in half, just like so. And then we're going to stick it in the ends. So go ahead and stick that baby in there and cover it up. Do the same thing to the other end, just like so. Make sure all of our cheese sticks are nice and covered. So you might have to move the meat around a little bit to make sure it's all covered. Okay, now we're just going to take our vegetables that we set aside. And if there's still some butter in the bottom of the skillet, perfectly fine, not a big deal. That's just going to help make the meatloaf even more flavorful. So we're just simply scraping it all on top of our meatloaf. Sorry for that horrible sound. Okay, so just take your spatula or spoon and just spread it around to make sure that all the meat is covered with your peppers and onions and everything. Just move it all around. Make sure all of it's covered. And then at this stage, you're going to just go ahead and put a piece of foil on top of it and go ahead and place it in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes until it's done. Okay, and then this is our end result. You can see all of the cheese is all melted and gushing out of there. You see all the peppers, all of that. So that is the end result. Okay, so that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Don't forget to thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do for lots more of fun stuff and lots of yummy goodness. And so I will talk to you guys later. Bye, YouTube.